8:22 is your time, and new this morning, a bipartisan bill in Congress right now could change how organic farmers get federal support. The bill is called the Opening Programs to Organic Farms Act, and it would direct the U.S. Department of Agriculture to study some barriers that certified organic farmers face when they're trying to get access to USDA programs.
Joining us this morning is one of the bill's sponsors. He is Congressman Andy Ogles here from Tennessee. Representative Ogles, good morning, sir. Thank you for being here. Why do you think a federal study is necessary, and what types of problems in particular are you looking for to solve with organic farmers?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what we want to do is open up markets and opportunities for our farmers, whether that's here in the U.S. or in South Central America, Mexico, et cetera. And so what we find is that often the problem is the government, and we need to get government out of the way by streamlining the process, simplifying the process, having fewer reporting agencies that they're having to go through, because look, at the end of the day, the individuals farm because they want to be a part of the land, they want to produce, they like working, they want to be out there. My grandparents had a small farm, and it's hard work. But that being said, if they're spending most of their day complying with the government, that's not what they signed up for. And so I think you really see that across most industries, but this is an area where the government has gotten in the way of productivity for our farms.
Well, and we have certainly heard that from a lot of our farmers right here in Middle Tennessee. Representative Ogles, know you joined us today to talk about this bill. Glad we were able to get to it, but cannot let you go today without asking you if you're watching the hearings right now with Anthony Fauci and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. You've been very outspoken about how you feel about Dr. Anthony Fauci, what he said or didn't say during the pandemic. Are you watching what's happening behind the scenes? And if so, what's your take on it right now?
Yeah, we've been tracking it. In fact, I'm on a thread right now that I was reading just before we went live. But, it'll be interesting to see how he answers some of the questions, or if he can even answer these questions without, committing perjury and really putting himself in a legal bind. So I'm not sure how productive the hearing really will be because of this, really the legal issues that he's facing as we go forward. And now that we know in hindsight, and of course, during COVID, I refused to comply with the nonsense. I believe that in freedom and liberty, it's still the United States of America, that you should be able to choose, that we should allow businesses to stay open. But that being said, Anthony Fauci misled the American people. He misled the president, and he should be held accountable for it.
Well, and within about the last 20 minutes or so, Fox News did report that Dr. Fauci has invoked the Fifth Amendment not to testify during the Senate hearing. So
Representative Ogles, real quick on that. Accountable, though, in what way, sir? Are we talking about possible charges against Dr. Fauci? He's retired now from the government for the last 4 years. So what exactly are we looking to get from hearing from Dr. Fauci in this way?
Well, again, it'll be surprising if he answers any questions at all today. He may just, like has been noted, plead the fifth for any and all testimony. But really, did he perjure himself when he appeared before Congress previously? And what new testimony or findings might conflict with what he was reporting to the American people? I'm not an attorney, so I can't really weigh into the legalese of all of that. But we know that he misled the American people. And so at what point did it become criminal? And at what point were lives lost because he wasn't fully, letting officials know what was really going on?
All right, Representative Ogles, thank you so much for joining us to talk about the bill, the Opening Programs to Organic Farms Act, and your perspective this morning on the Fauci hearings. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.